My name is Litia and I'm from the beautiful island of Laos and I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
My name is Casey, I'm from Tabua. We love Today FM in Tabua. Today FM rocks.
My name is Selina, I'm from Tavengavengamba. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Pula, my name is Carlo. I love listening to the music in Today FM, in Malak Island. Today FM rock.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
In the news tonight, Interpol and police to crack down on hard drugs. No mercy after amnesty period, says Revenue and Customs. And rape trial begins for a stepfather.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Spate.
The police force has turned to the Interpol to assist them to crack down on hard drugs entering our country and track those that are selling the drugs locally. Police Commissioner Brigadier General Sitiveni Gilio recently met with the Interpol in Beijing, China last month, where he raised this issue. Akusita Tale with the details.
Interpol has been requested to assist the police force in advance investigation to arrest perpetrators actively involved in selling hard drugs locally, including methamphetamine, ice and even cocaine.
We have to look at the area of more forensics accounting type of investigation and also looking at the precursors of this, if they were brought in, the amount of money involved, is it going with the trend during the flu season?
An increase in hard drug use in our country will have a vast effect on mental health.
And it'll be devastating for people who should be producing productive outputs, will be walking around with the effects of this. You just have to go on the internet or talk to our neighboring countries to see how devastating the effects of methamphetamine usage. It's worse than marijuana.
It's alleged methamphetamine and ice pushers are selling 3 to 4 crystals on the streets for $50. The National Substance Abuse Advisory Council is also concerned the growing use of drugs will create more social problems that will impact the economy.
We are going out into the villages. We are going to the Bosnia Tikinas, the Bosnia Sana, to highlight to people of the issues that are behind, not only for that, but for other things.
Giliho says the assistance from Interpol will help them analyze what drugs are being imported, the money involved and the people connected with this. Police will also work with the Health Ministry to ascertain the use of imported pharmaceutical drugs to identify if they have any connection to the manufacturing of drugs in the country. Akusita Tale, FBC News.
No mercy will be granted to those who have not declared their offshore assets once the current amnesty period ends. In an exclusive interview with FBC News, Fiji Revenue and Customs Service Chief Executive Viswanath Das says those who fail to declare should be ready to face the full brunt of the law. Rachel Nath with the details.
The taxman says the last time the Revenue and Customs held this amnesty period, close to $500,000 worth of assets were declared.
I think this far we have received some 200 applications, and of course the amnesty period ends on 31st of December. So we just like to encourage people, to make that declaration, because of course once we pursue audit investigations, I'm sorry, there'll be no mercy, but you'll have to face the full brunt of the law.
The amnesty period for declarations of offshore asset to the Revenue and Customs started on June 30th and has seen a slow start.
So at this point in time, it's slow, but because the period lasts till 31st December, so our previous experience, so we expect more of these declarations to be coming in November and December.
On the streets, Fijians have differing views on the 6-month amnesty period.
The people who run their business and investments on a very large scale, I think they need a bit more time to collect all the required documents and do all the formalities.
For 6 months, it's not quite enough, because firstly in overseas, and I think they need like a year period.
It's enough time for people to declare the assets.
The second amnesty program is the General Amnesty, whereby it gives small and medium enterprises who have a turnover of $1.5 million the ability to use this platform. Rachel Nath, FBC News.
Nadi will be declared a city in December in conjunction with the township's 70th anniversary. Minister for Local Government Parveen Bala last night held a pre-event launch revealing the news. In addition to the city declaration, Bala also launched the Miss Pacific Islands pageant, which will be hosted by Fiji and Nadi for the first time. Bala says the triple celebrations is expected to be a grand and memorable occasion.
The forthcoming Nadi 70th anniversary celebrations and the declaration of Nadi City are organized on the values found in the theme for this event, from town to Fiji's most livable green city, as is the Miss Pacific Island pageant that aims to unite the Pacific Islands in the fight against climate change through capacity building for our oceans, islands and skies.
The trial of a man who allegedly raped his 12-year-old stepdaughter began in the Suva High Court this morning. The man is charged with 1 count of sexual assault and 2 counts of rape. It is alleged the incident occurred between February 2010 and March 2013. The prosecution opened the case by saying that being a father or a stepfather comes with a lot of responsibilities and they are in the position of trust. The victim gave evidence behind closed doors. The Lautoka mill has successfully concluded its crushing for the 2017 season. Key stats indicate a successful season for the mill. More than 455,700 tons of cane was crushed, a 15% increase compared to last year. Additionally, the amount of sugar produced was 39% higher than last year, 2016, 54,174 tons. General Manager Micah Bukoto says the mill made inroads in tons of cane to tons of sugar, achieving 8.4, an improvement of 1.7 from 2016. Bukoto says this essentially translates to a more efficient crushing season for the Lautoka mill. Still to come, cyberbullying needs to be addressed immediately, says Commission. And PM hands $22,000 check to Wows Kids Fiji. Stay with us.
Ranalika, o tikongon na tao ni Singatoka, ando talitaka na wakaronga ng Bull FM, number 2 na seri.
Ya lora subuli kurang bili, borani buat sekarang hambara binaranga, do talitakin na wakaronga ng Bull FM, number 2 na seri. Bula!
Bull FM, number 2 na seri.
Cyberbullying continues to be a serious issue which needs to be addressed immediately. The call has also come from the Fiji Human Rights and Anti-Discrimination Commission that a campaign needs to be launched in an effort to stop cyberbullying. Felipe Naikaso has more.
Cyberbullying has been happening for a very long time, with majority of people getting away with it.
Stop cyberbullying because of the enormous amount of sexual violence, of the enormous amount of hate speech and incriminatory remarks that people casually make without even realizing the damage that it does to lives and to human dignity.
The Commission has received numerous complaints on cyberbullying, with social media topping the list.
It's not for us to judge. We could potentially lose a life because we push this person to that point where the conditions of possibility is no longer there to live a life of dignity. So I appeal to people to refrain from making these kind of undignifying remarks on the social media.
The impacts of cyberbullying can sometimes take a while to recover from.
So the feelings of despair, of loneliness, of being isolated, very hurt, obviously. And of course, in some instances, people do not know who the perpetrator is.
Relevant stakeholders are continuously looking at ways to combat this issue. Felipe Naikaso, FBC News.
Meanwhile, the Citizens Constitutional Forum is concerned with the continuing cyberbullying issues in the country. CCF CEO Mbulitani Mataitawa Kilai says CCF condemns any form of cyberbullying. A 52-year-old Suva man charged with one count of causing a loss appeared in the Suva Magistrates Court today. Kitione Lalako Madoi, who works as a private travel agent, is alleged to have accepted payment for 14 airline tickets from customers. He then wrote a check for more than $28,000 to purchase the tickets from Macquarie Travel All Services Limited in Suva. When the check was taken to the bank, it bounced due to lack of funds in the account. Lalako Madoi was granted $1,000 bail today and ordered to surrender his passport to authorities by 4 p.m. tomorrow. The case will be recalled on the 21st of November. Census officials continue to visit households that weren't occupied in the initial count that was conducted over 3 weeks from mid-September to the 8th of this month. Senior statistician in the Bureau of Statistics, Emily Soderberg, says this sweep was initially earmarked to last a week after the count. However, the numerous callbacks in urban areas has meant that teams of enumerators have had to revisit households. Despite reporting a 98% coverage, Soderberg says they want to ensure that they enumerate as many households as possible.
The ones that have yet to be counted are being visited. They're the ones that have been calling through the helpline, and we've even had people turn up at our offices to ask to get counted. So it's been good so far. The sweep has been done in all the different regions, so we want to ensure that we have a thorough enumeration of all the households in Fiji.
The Prime Minister has commended Fijians living in Sydney, Australia for working together to support a true cause for Fijian children suffering from cancer. Vorenge Bainimarama yesterday presented a cheque of $22,000 to WOW's Kids Fiji, a charitable organisation that supports children in Fiji with cancer and other life-threatening conditions. The money was raised at a charity ball in Sydney.
This is the amount that was raised in Sydney last week. Was it last week? During the WOW dinner organized by Mr. Alan Gok and his Sydney team, the team that organized the Fiji Day celebrations.
0 cases of violence against women were recorded in Viani village, Dakaundrove, since the launch of the Zero Tolerance Violence Free initiative in the community in 2015. Village spokesperson Lemueli Kulinindilo says the initiative has changed the mindset of men who are now engaging themselves in household work. Sainiani Mboila reports.
The implementation of the Zero Tolerance Violence Free initiative has seen a huge change in Viani village.
We always see both sides of the coin. We always sit down and communicate, especially with the new couples, which has never been done before. This has greatly changed the way we think.
Kulinindilo adds their partnership with the Ministry of Women, the Fiji Police Force and villages of Viani has changed the way men think.
From the time it began until today have seen a great change. Men began to help their wives. They now communicate more. Some men began to help their wives with housework.
Viani villager Aralai Leilua says the initiative has brought the community together.
Viani villagers now start to realize the importance of having quality time with families, the importance of socialization and respecting family members, and how best to deal with family conflicts when arises.
Viani villages are also helping police in an effort to reduce crimes in the Northern Division. There are currently 200 villages in Viani. Sainiani Mboila, FBC News.
Ahead in sports with Jamie, he will have all the latest on the winners from the FIFA Awards, but up next is Rachel with business.
Thanks, Jackie. Good evening, and coming up in business tonight, Digicel gets new CEO. And in Growing Fiji, government wants new port development for Fiji. Stay with us.
Ahead in sports with Jamie, young netters get contract offers, but up next is Rachel with the latest in business.
Thanks, Jackie. Good evening, and coming up in business tonight, increase in RB Patel dividend payout. And in Growing Fiji, farmers discuss the future. Stay with us. Leading business tonight, Digicel Fiji appointed a new chief executive officer today. Mike Gregg has a wealth of knowledge and experience in wireless and ICT technology. Gregg is no stranger to Fiji. He previously worked on Southern Cross Cable Network when he was commissioned, and with Fintel on producing data services. He also worked in the United States and New Zealand.
I've been in telecommunications for a very long time, done everything from digging ditches and climbing poles to marketing and selling software as a service. So I do understand digital transformation. I understand what it is to compete in markets, emerging markets. I've done a lot of work in the Americas, Latin America, and I think I just really bring a general all-round aptitude and competency in understanding what we've got to do.
And we now join Rocco from HFC Bank with the latest from the markets.
Vinaka, let's look at our economic calendar for the day. Not much activity was noted. However, we saw the release of the Chicago Federal National Activity Index for September by Federal Reserve Bank of Chicago. This data came out stronger than expected and points to a pickup in economic growth in September. For tomorrow, we expect some important US and Aussie data, which may have some impact on our trading partner currencies. We expect the Australian Consumer Price Index data to be released by the Reserve Bank of Australia. The CPI is the key indicator of measuring inflation and changes in purchasing trends. That's the economic update for now. Back to you, Rachel.
Thanks, Rocco. Looking at today's exchange rates and foreign currencies in the Fijian dollar. The Fijian dollar strengthened against Chinese yuan to close at 3.17, while it weakened against the American dollar to close at 47 cents. The Australian dollar strengthened to close at 60 cents, while the New Zealand and PNG kina weakened to close at 68 cents and 1.34. As for the commodities market, it was a mixed day with oil prices closing at $51.88 a barrel. Gold was up to close at $1,282 an ounce, and silver closed at $17.08 an ounce. And in Growing Fiji tonight, the Attorney General has asked the board of the Fiji Ports Corporation Limited to seriously look at the development of the new port. Minister A.R. Said Kiyim says they would like Fiji Port to have the level of footprint Fiji Airways has. He says Fiji has the capacity to do that and needs to be able to invest in this sort of technology and level of efficiency.
We'd like ships to be able to come from different destinations and see Fiji as an attractive destination to be able to fuel, to be able to offload their goods, for that to be then transshipped to other parts of the Pacific. Indeed, hopefully, God willing, one day to even places like Australia and New Zealand.
And that was business this evening. Now to sports. Here's Jamie.
Thanks, Rachel, and good evening. Up ahead in sports, a look at the ITTF World Cadet Championship underway in Suva. And Fiji football have plans set out to improve world ranking. Details after the break.
मैं प्रेमिला वायरुकू रेकी रेकी से सुबह मेरी आँख खुलती है तो मैं मिर्ची एफएम सुनती हूँ. मिर्ची एफएम इज नंबर 1. इट्स सो हॉट.
हम लोग बार टाउन के कैरियर ड्राइवर लोगों ने हम लोग के मिर्ची एफएम सुनो अच्छा लगे. मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट.
हाय, मैं संध्या नारिया रेफरेकी से. मेरे सारे दोस्त मिर्ची एफएम सुनते हैं. मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट. आई लव मिर्ची एफएम.
हमें स्पिन टोटो ताबुआ के मिर्ची एफएम में सबसे अच्छा गाना बजे.
मिर्ची एफएम इट्स हॉट.
Asian teams dominated day one of the International Table Tennis World Cadet Challenge, currently underway at Suva's Vodafone Arena. The girls' team won its 5 games against Latin America, while the boys' cadet team won its 5 matches over the Hopes team. Meli Tawanga reports.
The Asian teams are comprised of top players from Korea, Japan, Chinese Taipei, China and India. Their team management is satisfied with their game results, saying it was what they expected coming into the tournament.
Satisfied with the results of my team. In boys team we had 5 matches and each match had 3 games. We won all the 15 games and 5 matches. Same happened in girls events, and for boys we played against Hope's team, girls we played against Latin America.
They say preparing their players with modern equipments and facilities are one of the main contributors of their dominance in the tournament.
So there are a lot of sponsors, a lot of players, a lot of good coaches, all the facilities, equipments, and a whole network which in any of these countries such as China, Japan, Korea, build the players and train the players from very low ages up to the world champion or Olympic champion level.
Meanwhile, Fiji table tennis president Anthony Ho says the tournament started on a high note and intense competition is expected in the coming days.
This is the first round, you know, and so as the day goes by, the competition is going to get tougher and tougher, especially when you get to the finals. So we'll see some very spectacular table tennis over these next 2 days, leading up to the team's final, which is tomorrow.
The event could well be on the way to breaking Fiji's sports record, with players, managers and technical officials from over 40 countries attending. It looks like the most diverse sporting event to ever take place in Fiji. Melitawanga, FBC Sports.
Fiji Airways Ndrua coach Senirusi Serubakula believes he has enough firepower in his squad to cover for the 6 reps who have joined the Flying Fijians for international duties. The Ndrua will host the Sydney Rays on Saturday in Suva. The result of the match could determine whether or not the side progresses to the semi-finals of Australia's NRC. Vasil Prasad has more.
A confident-looking Fijian Drua side is ready to go back to winning ways despite their first home loss last weekend in the National Rugby Championship. A bonus point win this weekend and a spot in the semi-final are on the minds of these players.
Don't want to go into the competition to make up the numbers. We want to go there and compete, so we want to finish this season on high, and hopefully we can get that win and or a bonus point this week.
With 6 prominent players departing, it gives a chance for those on the bench to lead the pack on Saturday. Halfback Seru Davoilati and Sakyu Sangamvindi are 2 of the many who will play a key role.
The faith is us as coach and having and believing in these players that they can perform when those guys are going for the Northern Tour.
These players are aware of the load in hand. A loss in the season's last round-robin match could also force them out of the semi-finals.
We've emphasized as a team that we will focus firstly on off-the-field preparation, and everything will take care of itself come Saturday.
With the NRC coming to an end, the Drua side expects the battle to be tougher as they reach the climax of the championship. Vashnil Prasad, FBC Sports.
Fiji Airways Flying Fijians coach John McKee expects consistency from the national team on its northern tour. McKee says he wants his players to perform their best against the lower-ranked teams they will play when they tour Europe next month. Fiji's toughest match on tour will be against Ireland, who are ranked 4th in the world.
You know, we must set a standard every time we play, and when we play Canada, you know, I wouldn't be happy with a win and a sloppy performance. I want to see a good performance from the Flying Fijians every time we run out.
Despite a destructive build-up, Kiwi players are rating the start of this Rugby League World Cup campaign as the best ever. The Vodafone Fiji football team is expected to improve their world ranking if they perform well in its next 2 international outings. The matches against 120th placed Kyrgyzstan and 80th ranked Estonia could also be a turning point for the national side to secure bigger matches. Rohit Dev has more.
Fiji is currently placed 175th in the FIFA rankings. The upcoming matches will give the team another chance to improve their standings.
It will be great football, and let's hope our team can do well. And as a result, we are investing so much money in sending these boys out for exposure to Asia. That's where we believe we can make our mark and improve our football.
Fiji last met a team from the top 100 in 2002 when we were thumped 8-0 by Australia. The match against Estonia is drawing a lot of interest at home.
It's very big. Estonia is very big. They're 80 in the world, and we are about 176. So it will be an uphill battle, but a good exposure. Good for the fans to come out and see. Our football philosophy will be European-based.
Coach Christophe Gamel knows the task on hand will be very difficult and has warned his players to maintain discipline on and off the field.
I will not tolerate any late or this kind of thing, because I have helped everyone all the district now they have to give the feedback. It's very important, and the player have to stay committed for the national pride and the national work.
Fiji takes on Kyrgyzstan in Malaysia on the 10th of next month, while we host Estonia at Suva's ANZ Stadium 9 days later. Rohit Dev, FBC Sports.
Cristiano Ronaldo was named the world's best male football player at the 2017 FIFA Best ceremony in London this morning. The Real Madrid and Portugal forward beat Barcelona's Lionel Messi and Paris Saint-Germain's Neymar to the honor. In today's play of the day, possibly the greatest penalty calamity in football history. A goalkeeper was left shaking his head in the Thai FA Cup yesterday after a premature celebration. Bangkok Sports Club and Satriang Thong were tied 2-2 at full time when the game went to penalties. A marathon shootout followed and was tied at 19-all. That's it from sports. Join Angie later on with weather, and in our World of the Weird and Wonderful segment, 2 entrepreneurs have invented a wearable filter that purifies air for its users. That's coming up.
Bula, Keron mai Singatoka, Keron do talita kana varorong na Radio Fiji 1 and Domoy Viti.
Ayaw na rin siya. Si kombinasyon mo tikola ang talita kana Radio Fiji 1 kina Domoy Viti.
Ayaw ko yazo sila tale. Nagurara may naomani nandunga. Gitu talita gini ang gitu pinasabale pag nagundurong varorong na Radio Fiji 1 na Domoy Viti.
Na Radio Fiji 1 na Domoy Viti na bonga ni BNN.
In new media, why are people talking about the Pixel 2 XL screen? Some people are reporting issues with the screen on the Pixel. It's weather time now with Angie.
Hello there and welcome to the Weather World. What an amazing day to be out and about. It looks like rain has decided to give us some time to enjoy sunshine. Well, the sun surely made things dry and vibrant. Looking at the west, conditions were sunny on this side as well. Eastwards from Pakaba to Suva, a cloudy day followed by a few showers, and it was back to sunny periods again. What a mix. And up north, spotty showers were witnessed, which later cleared to a fine day. At sea, northeast winds 10 to 15 knots with moderate seas. And for the tides, low tide tonight will be at 10:21 with high tide tomorrow morning at 4. See the beauty of sunrise at 5:31. For tomorrow, we are looking at showers which might become heavier in Suva. The other areas, however, can expect light occasional showers. And we're going to have another hot day. It looks like there's a change in the season. Tomorrow's temps, Lambasa will be the hottest with highs of 32 degrees. And looking further on to Thursday, we were expecting more rain, but hopefully that clears so we can enjoy some sunshine. And that's all from the FBC Weather World. Jackie.
Thanks so much for that, Angie. On Fijian Pulse today, we asked, how do you rate the Fiji Mbathi's chances at the Rugby League World Cup?
It depends on how well they prepare for the World Cup.
I think that the Fiji Mbathi team have 50-50% chances of winning the World Cup.
I think they can win. They can make it up to the finals if they work together.
Probably make it up to the semi-final. We hope for the best and we cheer them out during their game.
They have a good chance of beating, hope they'll beat USA and make it to the Rugby World Cup semi-final, the Rugby League World Cup semi-final.
In the world of the weird and the wonderful, environmental pollution from filthy air to contaminated water kills at least 9 million people a year, according to a new study published by the Medical Journal. 2 entrepreneurs from Georgia have invented a wearable filter they say can produce clean, fresh air. Recapping the main stories, Interpol and police to crack down on hard drugs. No mercy after amnesty period, says Revenue and Customs, and rape trial begins for a stepfather. For these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. To our poll question this week, we are asking, Should sex education be made compulsory from primary school level? Visit our FBC website to answer. Before we go, our shot of the day comes from the beauty of nature. This shot was taken by Niraj Chan from Tonge in Ba. We'd like to encourage all our viewers to send in more pictures of our beautiful Fiji, whether it's our tropical flowers, stunning waterfalls, maybe a visiting cruise ship, or even your favorite pet. Just send them through to email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. You can also follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. That was the FBC News for tonight. From the team and I, stay safe. Good night.
Kera mai Lautoka, kera ndo talita kana varorong na radio Fiji 1 and ndo moi viti.
Ayaw na rin siya. Usi kombinasyon mo tikola ndo talita kana radio Fiji 1 kina ndo moi viti.
Ayaw ko yazo sila tale. Nagurara may nawamanyi nandunga. Gitu talita gini ang gitu Venezuela po nagunto rongo. Barong na radio Fiji 1 nando moi viti.
Na radio Fiji 1 nando moi viti na bonga ni BNN.